Yo, what's good, my nephews and nieces? This is your favorite uncle, Uncle Jimmy, and today we're talking about something near and dear to me, all right? We're talking about the lockdowns in 2K24. I know there's been a lot of questions. There's been a lot of concerns. Twitter's been going crazy with all the news that we've been getting. And I'm not gonna lie, man, there's been so much news coming out. I know it's hard to digest, right? There's a lot coming out. And I know I want to be able to break it down to you. You know, I like to spoon feed it because I know sometimes when you get overwhelmed with so much information, you're still left with a lot of questions, right? And that's what I want to do today. I wanted to go ahead and dive into just focus on lockdowns. I know there was a lot of information on lockdowns, but got you, man. I got you, okay? So make sure you like up the video, though. Please make sure you go ahead and show some love. Like up the videos if you've been messing with these news and what I've been giving to y'all. Please just go ahead and drop that like for me. But anyway, let's just hop right into it. So let's look at the courtside report real quick. I don't like really reading off these things, but I do feel like there is some stuff in here that makes sense. But since I've played the game, I kind of can tell you my actual feel for it. But I do see some key points in here that I do want to point out. So it says perimeter and paint defense are both more effective and reward players for anticipating and making good reads. And that is going to be very important. It says defensive movement has improved on many fronts with better responsiveness and less sliding. I want to address that. That is so true. That is so true. And I think that was always the hardest part about being a defender, was being able to stop. What made the left-right so hard was because defenders just always slid. It was like defenders was actually dealing with real-life physics, like running hard to the right, you try to stop, you kind of stutter, and then you go the other way. Whereas guards were able to move left-right, like there was no type of physics behind that, right? But now that is not the case. Like, you're able to really mirror an individual, especially if you read them and you know they SIGs, or you just kind of, you know how most guards, they have a certain type of rhythm, how they want to go down the court. You're able to really read that. And then when it says better responsiveness, yes, if they burst to the left, I'm able to burst to the left. And the reason being is because there's some really dope new badges in the game. I can't speak on that, but there's some dope defensive badges in the game that's really, really going to change the game. Trust me, you're really going to like that. But let's get back into it. So another part what it says is that I want to get to the point where it says directional steers are back, giving locks more tools to pester ball handlers. But there's also a thing in there that says where their help defenders get what they need. Ball handlers have a tough time getting free against great defenders. To improve contact there we go, contact. You get bumpy. I've been saying that for the longest. You get bumpy in this game. Like, now again, it's all predicated on what type of lockdown you had. So if you have a really good pure lockdown, and you're going against a guard that's small, like if a guard doesn't have strength this year, you're going to really feel it, right? So a guard, if you want to ISO, like I've been saying, if you want to ISO this year, you're going to have strength, because it's going to be very hard to ISO and just stay on the perimeter, right? You're going to have to be able to try to get your way to the cup. But I can see some really, really good smaller guards that are shifty. And again, don't take what I say as Bible, because I mean, to me, I feel like an ISO guard that has some strength and a little bit of slashing is probably going to be a lot better than just like a small guard that just has nothing but shooting, no finishing, no strength. Because what that does is really, you're really going to have to rely on, you know, playing against being an extremely great dribbler or playing against really, really poor defenders. But if you're playing against a great defender, and that great defender knows that only thing you're going to do is try to stay on the perimeter, you're going to get bumped so much your adrenaline bars are gone and you're just going to pass it. Like, you're going to have to figure it out quick. Like, it's not going to be that, you know, I'm just going to play out on the perimeter for the next, you know, 24 seconds of the shot clock and I'm going to get an open three. Like, nah, you're going to have to, yeah, you might get an ankle breaker, but again, if you're talking about a great defender, it's just going to be hard to do, right? So I want y'all to thoroughly understand that. Now let's talk about what I know a lot of people are concerned about, and those are that ghost contest. Again, I will say that ghost contest, for the most part, I'll say like 98% is like gone, right? There is still some fluky stuff that you might get, but for the most part, it is gone. Like, you're not going to get that. And what let me read let me read this part real quick, and then I'll get into what I'm talking about. It says, where is it? Blocking requires more skill this year. It's more important to read the offense and wait for the correct time and opportunity to hit blocks. We already know about that. If you're behind the shooter, jumping too early, baiting on fakes, or out of position, attempting a late closeout, you'll find yourself racking up fouls and giving shooters up. Listen, the racking up fouls, if you're in the paint and you try to run out there and try to contest a three-point shot, there were so many more fouls on threes than, like, I was like, bro, like, which makes sense. If you're R2 and running out to the perimeter and you're jumping, just go ahead and expect that to be a foul or a nice little head fake and go into the rack, and it's going to be very smooth. Like, if you're out of position defensively, you're going to get hurt badly, okay? So it's going to be really hard to do all that baiting type stuff, like stand in the paint, bait into the corner, because in order to thoroughly recover, you're going to have to sprint out there. And the good thing is that, like I said, with the pro play animations, it's like you're really going to get some really bad animations. You're going to be really out of like, you know how sometimes when you can still go out, like in 23, you could run out to the perimeter and like you could jump and still somehow recover, right? Y'all know what I'm talking about. Like, you can jump, still recover. The dude does a head fake and tries to go by you and he still gets stuck. You know how like you get stuck on the jumping defender and all that? Nah, all that's gone, man. If you're in the paint and you get hit and your man is in the corner for a three wide open, just go ahead and take that L. You're either going to foul him on the shot, or you're going to go, or you might get to contest, but it just depends on how wild you run out there. Or three, he's just going to get right by you, and I think that's something that's really dope. I really like that about that, because it really causes you to play like great team defense and to be able to play instinctively. We already know the court is smaller than what it you know, it's always a small field on the court. So it's always like, how can somebody stand on the basket and still contest the corner? I know that that's been kind of changed a little bit, because I wasn't able to get that many type of contests standing on the basket going to the corner, because I really was something I hated a lot, especially if, you know, as a lockdown, you sit in the corner, you're like, bro, like, the man was standing on the basket, like, I'm wide open in the corner and he still got a contest, right? That stuff right there is gone, because a lot of it is not, it's going to be depicted twofold. It's going to be depicted on your gather of your shot, where the actual defender is on the contest. So meaning, like, you know, on how are you on his body and that type of stuff. And then the second tier of the contest would be on the release and where the actual hand and contest is at. So that's another part that is a lot different. A lot of ghost contests last year had a lot to do with just like you standing in the vicinity, and that's not going to be the case no more, because during that testing, which I can't really talk about a part, but yeah, it was fixed. Just understand, like, there was things and it was fixed. Like, I put it like that. There was a lot of stuff that was fixed. Now, last, and hey, listen, this is going to be the most important one right here, man. Shout out to my man Wolf. Now, Wolf, if you do not know who he is, he was a 2K League player for the Pacers Gaming, and then he became a dev for NBA 2K, and he really did his damn thing, man. So y'all make sure y'all see him right there at Wolf74. Y'all make sure y'all follow this man, because he got the juice, man. He got the juice. Listen, me and him, our conversations, we on the same page, man. Just about, you know, the builder, defense, like, we just on the same page. I love this dude's mindset, right? So it is what it is. But check this out though. More responsive control and body ups. We already talked about that, right? Less sliding. We already talked about that. Right stick steals are back. More than that in the future. I can get on that in a little bit. Right stick basically means, like, the same way if you're on the right side, you flick on the right side with the right hand, you're going to get that steal. And then again, if the ball is in the defender's left hand, and you come over now, if the ball's in the left hand and you're facing him, that means your right hand's going to be on his left side. So you flick the stick with and you get a higher chance of getting steals doing that. But if you guess wrong, you get an animation to where, like, you would if, hey, you know how people say, if you reach, I teach. That's kind of how the animation you get. You reach, I teach. So it's a high risk, high reward, right, type of animation that you can do. And I can definitely see, well, I know for me personally, I was being able to get a lot of steals on my lockdown, because guards, once I realized, like, you know, you just gonna sit there, or like you trying to just sit there and sig, let me get that thing right there. And I only had like gold badges, so I already know on Hall of Fame I'm about to go crazy, because some of you guards, y'all gonna come into that 23 mindset and you gonna get cooked. Like, these lockdowns really about to put some pressure on you. But I will stay for this, and I want, if everybody remember this, defense this year is going to be very skilled based. And yes, you can say in other 2Ks it was skilled based, but because, you know, like, come on, you got guys in 2K League, obviously they play defense really great. But one thing I'll say about this is that the mindset, like, if you know real basketball, those type of like mindsets definitely can play a really, really good part here, right? Knowing exactly the angles because now you know like certain type of positions the offensive player is in. The expectation is, well, they can't do this, they can't explode here, so you can really read it and play it. Anticipating is going to be huge because you can get crazy bumps, animations. I'm talking about bumps to where like people lose the ball, right? Not those weird bumps where like, you know, they like the person's running, bump, and the ball just rolls away. Like you actually see like the offensive player bump, like stand up, bounce back, and like, oh, like stumble and the ball come out, or that type of deal. Like just really dope animations for defense. So there's a lot of appreciation in that, and Wolf has a lot to do with that. So again, if you want to be a lockdown, or if you feel like, you know, like a lockdown is something that you want to try, definitely go ahead and do it this year, because lockdowns are going to play a very, very huge part in NBA 2K24, just because they can be absolute game changers. I felt like in other 2Ks, they just was not relevant, other than 2K19. They just weren't relevant because at that time, you know, people complain or this and that. So now you don't even have to get steals to make crazy impacts now. You can get a lot of bumps, you can take away the guards of drilling, and then you can still be an effective player. And to me, that's game changing. That's important, right? So that's my whole spill right now on defensive lockdowns. And oh, no, let me stop. I'm sorry. Let me go ahead and give the bigs some love. I'm gonna tell you right now, man. Bigs are going to be really good this year. And that's where I'm going to put it at, because I don't know if I can say much about what else. But, like, the paint is going to... Listen, paint defense is really, really strong. I'm not even going to lie. I felt like it was too strong, right? But I can't really speak on why I say it's too strong. But I think it's going to be tweaked a little bit because I thought it was too strong. I mean, we had people out there looking like, what's the dude from Street Fighter? Like, Dashim had a long reach. Like, I felt like some of these centers, bro, were just able to cover the whole damn court, right? It was crazy. But yeah, so paint defense is definitely buffed, okay? But I can see, like, really skilled Euro steps, really skilled scoop layups, reverses can really negate that. Paint mashing is definitely going to be gone. Like another center trying to paint mash another center, like you do a couple head fakes, you're going to get called to travel. So I love the fact that traveling is back in the game. So you can't head fake but a certain amount of times and you will be called to travel. I love that. I used to hate when a center would do 16 head fakes, get close to the basket and dunk it. That is gone. You cannot do that no more. So thank God to that. But at the same time, post moves, and again, I'm going into something different, but like post moves and fades and stuff got a buff, so it's like you can negate that. Again, I love the fact that, you know, hey, a center's under the paint with his hands up, you know, you go up on that, there is a big chance that you're going to miss that shot unless you do a skilled layup, Euro step, or contact dunk with the dunk meter. But again, you have to green it to make it. So again, like I said, there is a very good balance. You want OP offense, you want OP defense, you got it. I don't want to hear no complaints. The community asks for these things. You know, we try the hardest to give it to you. So again, go ahead, give this game a chance from the start. I don't want to hear no complaining, no crying the first day on the game. When you get on and you're going to get somebody that grinded their ass off for 12 hours and got like gold badges on defense, and you out there with no badges or bronze and you getting destroyed, you got to put the hours in, work up, get your build right. Some of y'all don't need to go straight to the park. Some of y'all need to go in my career, get your badges, get everything up before you go in the park. Not everybody's built the same. Not a lot of people can just go in the park with no badges and cook up. So keep that in mind. If you're having a difficult time in the park or in rec or some of that, maybe you just need to go to my career, get your my player up, get a couple more badges, and then go from there, okay? But anyway, that's my spill. If you're loving these type of videos, please go ahead and click one of these links right here, man, because I greatly appreciate it. Like up the video, and as usual, your favorite old head, Uncle Dimmy. I'll be back really, really soon with another banger, man. You know, when I say back soon with another banger, you know exactly what day I'm talking about. I'm talking about tomorrow, man. I'm out.